We now continue with Dean Bai. So tell us about what is going on today.
Wow. By 2003, we felt it was time to help bring North American Jewish people home. A little bit harder.
North American, yeah.
The Russian Jews, statistically, their first trip to Israel was when they made their Aliyah. For the North American Jews, statistically, it's the third time they visit before they make
this
their
is
Aliyah.
Really interesting. I never knew that. Yeah.
With the Russians, they come with 2 bags. With some of the Jewish people that were helping home, they come with 2 containers from North America. It's a different Aliyah.
I thought you were going to say 1 container or a container, but now it's 2. Right?
So we realized that for a Russian, if things go troublesome here, for most, they're here, and this is a better life. For a North American, it's not necessarily a better life when they come here right away. They have to drop. Right. Their pay grade drops. So an aspect is, how do you absorb the North American Jews? And so that became really important. It wasn't just about returning. It was helping to restore them. We realized taking them to Judea and Samaria would be important. Rather than just coming over with an idea, let's go to where 80% of the Word of God comes from. We would take them to the places the covenants were made. Places where the average Christian doesn't go, average Israeli doesn't go. They call it the West Bank. Yeah, we call it Judea and Samaria.
So they're already here. They've already made a decision to make Aliyah. But you want to help them enlarge their perspective of what is
why they did it.
Oh goodness.
Okay, and so to empathize with them. Their kids learn the language before they do. The Russians, it's easier to learn the language. And North America, it's tough to. It's a tougher language for an English speaker to get it. Sure. Yeah. So, how to being there on the journey, not just to get them on the plane and get home. Aliyah is a continual process. It means to ascend.
It means to ascend. You're saying, but the ascending doesn't stop
at
when you
Ben
get
Gurion
here.
Airport. No, they're continually ascending to God. I mean, they're continually
pretty good, isn't it?
Coming into a relationship, a deeper relationship with their God, and we play a part of that. We're very focused not imposing what we believe on anyone. And that's tough for an evangelical Christian, to help them to understand, are you able to love without a condition? It
makes all the difference when you let that go, doesn't it?
And an Israeli or a Jewish person, they can feel that, because there's always this, what's your agenda? But when your agenda is out of obedience to God, is why I'm doing this. For some, they're going, wow, I should maybe do that. Well, yeah. We are called together to know this one God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, this one God of Israel. And if I can encourage a Jew or an Israel to get to know their God, that's a great thing. But right now there's a process as a Christian that God's already written, spoken through his prophets, been inscribed in his holy word, that we can do that bears witness that he is in fact their God, our God. And that's so it's simple. Helping bring Jewish people home, helping them live in this land is important. So what we're doing right now, long answer, sorry Bob, but is we started to give them short-term vacations in Tiberias. It's sort of like cottage country here on the Sea of Galilee. And that led to finding a much larger property on the Jordan River, just as it comes out of the Galilee. We call it the Aliyah Return Center. It's on 15 acres.
So just at the southern end of the Sea of Galilee, as the Jordan River begins its descent down to the Dead Sea. So you're
and that place was really where the modern state of Israel began. You've got the Ganya Aleph, the Ganya Bet, two of the earliest kibbutzim.
Yes.
And then the third one was going to be the Ganya Gimal. But guess what? Somehow it became Bet Zera, the house of the seed.
Oh.
That's where we are.
Okay.
And although we have some of the founders of that kibbutz came from the Ganya Aleph, It's called Bet Zera. It's been around for over 9 years.
91
actually.
Oh.
And in 1949 they established a boarding school for different kibbutzim around the area. We were blessed to see this as an abandoned boarding school, 2008, and we said, let us come in, let us restore it, let it be used for the purpose of helping to bring Jewish people home and absorb them in this land. We'll work with the young people. We'll bring volunteers from the nations to help do this. We'll ask them to help fund it. It's about a $10 million project. Everything looked good. Everything was smooth sailing. They had to have their big meeting to make the decision. And guess what? And I'm happy to tell you today, because this is a very special day today, is the Jewish Agency were also looking at the same piece of property. And I got a phone call from Chaim, my son-in-law, but also my partner in this ministry, Chaim Elspeth. And he says, Dean, you're not going to believe this. The Jewish Agency wants this property. For some of you who don't know who the Jewish Agency is, that is the organization that works for Aliyah. 4 million Jewish people that live in the land today can say, I'm here because of the Jewish Agency. And who are we, this little itty-bitty Christian ministry, against this giant of an organization that was here before the modern state of Israel? And but the kibbutzim, they come from a socialist background. They said, maybe you could work together. Yeah, I like that. I flew in, and I'll never forget Yehuda Sharf and Nir Lachav. They both said, listen, we feel this is something, and it's crazy. Christians working with Jews to bring, I think they wondered, is it possible? Could it happen? I have to tell you, that was 3 years ago, and only today were we able to officially sign a partnership agreement. Although we've worked together unofficially, today we signed it. Wasn't easy, but I believe they've seen Christians functioning from a place of love. Many say, is this a different kind of Christianity? And we like to say, it's the one that we know that's written, and we want to encourage it. And so, the agreement was just signed today, officially, and they'll say that this is a partnership. Okay, although there's been many organizations around the world for years, Christian, that have supported and funded, but this is different. It's a partnership that says, let's learn how to work together to build a campus that would be a prototype for many other campuses around Israel, where we can help as Jews and Christians working together to absorb the new Israelis coming to this land. Right now we have over 100 young Israelis on it. Within the last 3 months, 18 of them became new Olim, most of them from America. Wow. We have, by May, we're expecting 40 university students. You have people that make Aliyah different motivations in the beginning, and these ones are coming first as university students, and they need to learn the language, get oriented. They'll be here for a 7-month first home kind of situation. We have another group, I'm not sure quite how many yet, but they're young families, at least one child and a couple, but again, it's their first home. And if you can imagine, on this campus right now, we have lone soldiers, we will have university students, we have post-army, these are those that have completed their army service and need a little place to stay, a family as they determine what we're going to do the rest of our lives. We have pre-army, this is amazing, Aramean Christians and Israeli Jews, 4 to a room for 7 months, 17-year-olds, before they learn how to actually defend the country together.
Wow!
And this is the Jewish Agency's concept. It's not ours. We're merely here to serve, but our service has come into a partnership, and now this campus that's cultivating what we believe a love, a peace that we think will give hope to not only Israel but also nations.
I've heard that it's possible to stay at this campus. It's not just about like you have to be a Jew that's just made Aliyah to stay there. Do you have rooms available that people can stop in from time?
It's not on the campus,
okay,
but that's been established right in the residential area of Bet Zera, the kibbutz.
Nice.
And we're calling that, for right now, we're calling it the Family Aliyah building. Actually, that's another new building that we're establishing. We have another smaller villa just not too far away, a little bit nicer. The conditions I'm sharing with you, please, I don't want you to think they're luxurious. It's primitive living. Even those that might consider coming to serve, you know,
But it's clean.
It's clean.
And it's right there in a very special place.
And it's greater than 5-star. Because when you walk out at night, because we're right near the Jordan River, it's 1,000,000 stars.
There you go. Stars of Abraham.
But and we invite Christians from the nations to come, A, to serve, B, to pray.
I was going to ask you that. I'm glad.
And to experience it, because, you know, we're not just, you know, I think it's important to say, when you come representing, you know, we have people from many nations. Today, we had the Brazilian team come in to help do some work. The reality is, we're not just saying this is what we're going to do. You get to do it with us. And if you're saying, you know, what have you done? We can point to this one. This building was done a year ago. This building we're working on right now. And you're looking at people from different nations that are working. So we want that to be our witness to the Christians from the nations to say, hey, listen, this is an approach you can get involved in.
We hope you've been enjoying this conversation with Dean Bai, and we'll be back in another segment. Until then, shalom.